What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Breakdown Sportscast. I'm your good friend and host, Kory Willis. Hope everyone out there is doing well on a Friday. Hope you guys have had a pretty good work week out there, of course, and I hope you all enjoyed a great national championship game that we just had this past Monday. So overall, guys, I hope you all out there are doing well on a Friday and getting ready for the weekend. As always, guys, we appreciate you all listening to the show, of course. Guys, you know, you can find us on many different streaming platforms out there, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Amazon Audible, iHeartRadio, and many other streaming platforms out there. So if you like the show, guys, if you like what you hear, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It's definitely important for Chris and I. It helps us know what we're doing and how we can improve the show for the future for you all. So as always, guys, we very much appreciate you all's support with the show. As always, guys, you know I am with my good friend and co-host. He is Chris Bolton. Chris, what's going on, my brother?
What's going on, Kory? I'm doing just fine. Not as fine as Ryan Day is at this hour, but everything is all good my way.
Yeah. Look, man, if you're having a day, a week, anywhere as remotely as relaxing as Ryan Day of Ohio State, man, you are living large, my friend.
Yeah. Hey, ain't too many people living like Ryan Day this week. He is the top dog.
Yes.
The what I'm saying, the one and only. So he's the man of the hour, so to say.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, man. What a great performance in the national championship by both of these teams, both Ohio State and Notre Dame. We knew it had to be one team coming out with the victory, Chris, but at the end of the day, we found out who could outlast this grueling first year of a 12-team playoff format in college football. Ohio State, folks, is your 2025 national champions. They outlasted 11 other teams to become your national champions in the first 12-team format. A great game, Chris. I had to look and see before we started discussing about the game what the line was. I had forgot. It was around 8.5 that Vegas was looking at this game in favor of Ohio State, I think. So a lot of people had Ohio State as a pretty decent favorite to win this ball game. And when the game started out, I know you were just like me, Chris, like, oh man, this might be a rout of epic proportions. It
wasn't looking good.
It wasn't looking good at all. I started having flashbacks to that TCU Georgia game, Chris. I was like, oh gosh, not again. I can't deal with this anymore. But thankfully, Notre Dame didn't give up. They kept fighting, and eventually they got it down to a possession pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And had they got that touchdown and what I think a potential 2-point conversion, they would have tied the game. It would have been 31-31, I believe. So they, hats off to Coach Freeman and company by getting the team back into contention to win the game. But it was just tough for Riley Leonard and the offense for Notre Dame in terms of trying to just evade that defense from Ohio State. Those guys are nasty. They were nasty all season long, and they definitely made Riley Leonard pay when it came down to it. So you got to give props to Jack Sawyer and company. Guy Gotta give shout outs to those guys when possible. But overall, Chris, like I said, great game. 34-23 was your total. Will Howard, he was 17 for 21, 231 yards with 2 touchdowns. Quinshon Judkins, man, was a monster in this game. He had 2 touchdowns, 100 yards, 11 carries. And Jeremiah Smith, he had his one tutty as well for 88 yards and 5 receptions. One reception which sealed the deal for Ohio State. Overall, Chris, what were your thoughts about Ohio State sealing the deal, getting the victory over a really good Notre Dame team this year that had to fight a lot to get to this point? What are your thoughts about this whole national championship?
Yeah, man, congratulations to Ohio State. Nothing but respect and appreciation for just the perseverance. This team was very headstrong, very confident. Found themselves late into the season, and it feels like this team they showed a lot of character. Things weren't pretty this regular season. The team was winning, but they weren't winning in the way we anticipated them winning. This is an extremely talented team that was that was on display in the playoff. We saw this team play play its best football this season when it mattered most. But getting to that point was a journey, Kory, and so that journey. It seemed like everything was going to fall and the sky was falling when this team lost to Michigan. A very bad Michigan team in many people's eyes this year, including mine. This is as bad as I think Michigan will be for the foreseeable future. And you lost to them. And that looked like a death sentence initially for Ryan Day. Will he survive, and keep his job? Now he's coming out, glistening clean and probably eating for free right now at a nice steakhouse in Columbus, Ohio.
I'm sure of it at this point.
And this team won a natty. Big win. Played a good game. You saw it was almost like the season in some sense. It was a representation of the season. You saw this team play some really good football in the first half, and we, like you mentioned, Kory, we thought we were on the cusp of a beatdown. You could see the talent differential on the field. Even when Ohio State wasn't scoring, you still saw yeah, man, it's going to be tough for Notre Dame. They're going to have to play great and need some help from Ohio State. And, Notre Dame made things interesting because they are a tough team in their own right. They weren't going to go down without a fight. But overall, just big ups to the Buckeyes for hanging in there this season after everything this team has gone through and all the talking and the whispers in Ohio and Columbus, because the city is buzzing and everybody was just down on this team. So they really had to band together and come together and win this championship, and that's exactly what they did, Kory.
Absolutely, Chris. Yeah, man, it's when you look back at the season that they had. First major setback was the Oregon game.
Mm-hmm.
If you could tell, if you can get into the mind of Ryan Day, Will Howard, and all of those guys, would you do things differently in that Oregon game? Yeah, they probably would say, probably so.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was the first major setback. But after the Michigan game, yeah, I mean, just like you said, Chris, both of us, we're not going to shy away from it. We had questions. We had doubts. Is this Ohio State team for real? Was this Ohio State team destined for greatness. And, a lot of us had our doubts after that game. We just didn't see the focus, the reason why this team was built. What they spent, like $20 million
Yep.
for this team.
Yep.
We were looking at that to showcase on the football field week in and week out. And it was always, in between that time, Chris, it was always where's Jeremiah Smith at? Why isn't he being utilized? Is Will Howard playing up to the standard that they paid him? The psyche of Ryan Day, of Coach Ryan Day. All of these things started to become just a major storm of adversity for this team this year, Chris. And it's kind of amazing. I know we've watched the whole playoff games, Chris, and we heard Kurt Herbstreit talk about the banquet, of course, in Columbus that the team had after the season and everything, and how that was the moment where they banded together. I mean, he saw it in real time. After that Michigan game, there was a literal reset button that was pressed in terms of focusing, locking in to get to the point that they are now. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm impressed by it. They did what they needed to do to win this national championship this year. Their first CFP national championship since 2014, and with Ezekiel Elliott and company. That team was great. This team was superb when it mattered on the football field, Chris. They got it done. They should be commended for it all the way. And hey, they took advantage of their adversity and used it as strength to make it to the point that they're at now as national champions. So I gotta give credit where credit's due. A great job by Ryan Day. I think if you're an Ohio State fan, I think you probably should pump the brakes, unless Ryan Day wants to pump the brakes and look at greener pastures from here. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon from the way I see it.
Yeah. Ohio State, Ohio State looks to be in great position to continue their success next season. Jeremiah Smith, only a true freshman. So Big Ten defenses have to worry about him for at least a couple more seasons. So that's have fun with that. Better you than me. So
yeah.
Did you see that clip, Kory, where the DB was jumping up and down when he realized he was left on the island? It was the safety.
Yeah.
That was checking Jeremiah Smith.
I love that, because that's when you know you're that good. Because when he saw Jeremiah Smith, he was spooked. And look, I almost felt for him. Like I can feel the chills. You know when The Rock comes out, Chris, and he's always talking about the chills, of course. That's the way I felt. I was like, oh my gosh, like this guy could just run a 9 route, and he's literally right here at the red zone, and it wouldn't matter. He's gonna find a way to maneuver his body, and this guy's big. This is a big physical wide receiver, folks. I mean, he's a once in a generational type of talent, for real. Yeah, you see this guy, jump for a football. Yeah, I'm moving out the way, dog. Let you handle this. I'll take the beating on the sideline. Let you handle this.
He's a beast. But and yeah, Ohio State's going to be right there in the mix next season, and it's just crazy how things can just change like that. Just with the snap of a finger for how a coach is perceived. Ryan Day. going from the hottest seat, arguably in college football, to the man, a national champion. And I don't think
Crazy.
this is his last one.
No.
I mean, would you be shocked if Ohio State wins a couple more championships in the next 6 years, 7 years, two more chips? I
Not
wouldn't
at
be.
all. Not at all. And I'm looking at this recruiting class right now, Chris. Really good class coming in. They got some dogs coming into play.
Mm-hmm.
Tavian St. Clair from Bellefontaine, Ohio, 5-star
Mm-hmm.
quarterback, 6'4", 225. I mean, I'm looking at this
Yeah,
guy.
he's the reason Aaron Noland transferring.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Nolan was a top quarterback coming out of high
Mm-hmm.
school, but this they got this 5-star coming in, so I think Nolan said, "Let me go somewhere else."
Right. Exactly. I mean, yeah. I mean, we can go down the list, of course, of talent. Quincy Porter, 6'3", 200-pound wide receiver from Oradell, New Jersey. This guy seems like he has a knack for catching the football as well. So
Another big physical receiver
another
to pair up with Jeremiah Smith.
Exactly. Another big physical receiver that you can complement along with Jeremiah Smith. This team has every ounce of talent in them to become dangerous again next season, Chris. So, you win a national championship after the season that you had, sky's the limit. Let's do it again.
Yeah, yeah, and I want to say Carnell Tate's coming back.
Yeah, I can see
Igbuka
that.
will be in the draft, but Tate's coming back. And Smith. I think this team, you know, they ran the offense through the running backs, but this team looked its best when the offense opened up. The passing game opened up lanes for the running backs instead of trying to establish the run first and then pass the ball. When you got Tate and Smith coming back, I know we'll probably have a new QB under center, but I wouldn't be shocked if this team, takes that approach and maybe implements it earlier in the season. It is a team that throws the ball, and we continue to see this offense try to take things over the top. I mean, imagine just how lethal Smith will be with an off season of working out at Ohio State under his belt. He did this straight out the high school football field in Miami Gardens, Florida. Imagine what he's going to look like after being in the weight room even more and working with the trainers. I mean, it's going to get ugly. It's already
Yeah. Uh,
scary.
I know. Spooky. Hilarious. Oh my gosh. Yeah, man. An off season that Jeremiah Smith's gonna take, and then he comes back next season on top of what he brings to the table already, just with just sheer God given talent. Yeah, good luck, Big Ten. I'm sorry if you got if you gotta stop this guy, like, good luck, because it's gonna be a hard time trying to slow this man down after seeing his freshman year go out there and ball.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be back as a true sophomore, better than ever. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, good luck. And also, I want to give credit to Notre Dame for to speak of perseverance.
Mm-hmm.
After following the NIU loss, this team found ways. They stayed locked in, and as the season continued, they found ways to win. The USC game wasn't easy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then you hop into the playoff. Yeah, you beat a Georgia. You beat a Penn State in a classic. You just keep finding ways to keep things trucking, to advance, and here we are. So, great season for them. Falls short, But credit to Marcus Freeman and his squad for the great season they had, and I think they'll continue to compete. But part of me is curious too. We'll see. I th- I think they need some more athleticism on the outside. I know the quarterback room is really good, and I think they'll get have an even better passing attack next season. But they need a. I think they need some more bounce, some more pop in this offense to really take them over the top and to really bring home that chip.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll definitely see. What happens with both of these teams. In terms of Notre Dame, we'll definitely see. How they can fix their offense. Of course, look, I like Jaden Greyhouse, great receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing receiver. Now I hate that I didn't even take a shot and seeing him in high school because my gosh, um, like they Ohio State just had fits in trying to stop him late in the game. So it'd be great if they can kind of get one or two more great houses in that offense. So, with a dynamic quarterback. I think Notre Dame would really love that. The Fight Irish fans would definitely enjoy that.
For sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
man.
So, yep, great season for both teams, Kory.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, absolutely. Great season for both teams. Shout out to Notre Dame. They fought hard. Someone had to lose, but they fought hard. They got here to this point, so they deserve that credit. But shout out to the Ohio State Buckeyes in winning the 2025 national championship in the first ever 12-team format. So it's a hard thing to do, Chris. Hard thing to do. Especially from where they had to start out. They had to start from the first round, get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
They were locked in.
Mm-hmm.
From then on out, showed no fear at that point. So I gotta give credit was where credit is due. Fantastic job, and we'll see what happens next season with them as well. Of course, they got new talent coming in, just like we said, and we'll see how they fare going forward with Jeremiah Smith, and we'll see if a guy like St. Clair can get into that lineup and potentially be QB1 for next season. All signs look to see that that may happen. Get a guy with that top level talent in, and he's sitting on the bench. So we'll definitely see what happens with Ohio State going forward, Chris.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Well, so before we get out of here, we just kind of want to delve a little deeper into the coaches
Mm-hmm.
for a little second. So Ryan Day, Chris, I mean, knowing the season that Ohio State had, Ryan Day was met with a lot of scrutiny. Of course, a lot of people wanted him going. I mean, I still remember it like it was yesterday. Me and you had the conversation right after that Michigan Ohio State game. What happens now in terms of Day's job security at Ohio State? Look, we take no leisure in wanting to see a guy like Ryan Day get fired, because I think he's a really good football coach. It showed. Um, but overall, now that he's a national champion, Chris, what are your thoughts about Ryan Day going forward? The way we perceive Ryan Day, and the way Ohio State and the fan base in Columbus should look at Ryan Day.
They should be ecstatic, man. I mean, I know he's had his struggles against Michigan, but he's brought you a natty. First ones, first natty of the decade for the Buckeyes. And looks poised to bring you more. I mean, he ran up against a generational team in Georgia a couple of seasons ago, and almost beat Georgia in what was a classic. And we probably, if they win that game, we're already calling Ryan Day a national championship winning coach. You know,
I mean,
so
two natties for
you
him.
have two right now if that's the case. I
Mm.
mean, the guy's special. I know he's failed against Michigan, but I don't anticipate that being the case going forward on a regular basis. It is a rivalry game, but you'll get your fair share of wins against Michigan. And, there's a lot of wisdom that comes with winning. And I think there's some things that he's learned, some lessons he's learned over the years, and things might just get easier for him going forward. I mean, let's talk about it. Nick Saban's gone.
No more Nick.
The field is wide open for anybody to be that coach. Um, and with the proven pennies that Ohio State is willing to spend on a college football team, they are this NIL foundation is proven to put Ryan Day and his staff in position to win with going and getting the best players in the nation. So when you have the NIL support system that Ohio State has, Ryan Day is, as college football is currently constructed, he's in prime position to continue to be a force and to win multiple championships.
Yeah, it's definitely there for the taking at this point, Chris. I mean, like you said, there's no more Nick Saban now. I mean, people in Tuscaloosa are, looking at that the hard way, with
Well, they
Kalen
looking like that Dexter's Laboratory photo where he's looking at the locker and it's that Nick Saban picture.
Why did you leave me? Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's exactly what it's like in T-Town right now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What's that when Wolverine is sitting in the bed and he's
Oh.
holding that photo?
Rubbing the picture frame. Oh my gosh. Yes, that is Alabama fans in a nutshell, folks. Those two memes right there. Oh my gosh. No.
Oh.
You're absolutely right, Chris. like like you as the Alabama faithful, you would always see Alabama in the national championship, winning national championships and conference championships. And yeah, you look at the season that Alabama had, it definitely doesn't feel the same. Because this is not the Nick Saban regime that we once knew. This is a different guy now, and his name is Kalen DeBoer. So yeah, it's definitely going to be different now. And if you're a guy like Ryan Day that just won a national championship, the door is possibly open for you to be there year in and year out, competing, potentially winning national championships. So I think Ohio State has something good going. We'll see what happens going forward with Ryan Day there. But if I'm an Ohio State fan, I think you gotta let the man cook. You gotta let the man do his thing and get this team together, because I will say he seems like he has a knack for building teams with great leadership. And if you have great leadership, you can be in Ohio State and win a national championship. So we'll definitely see what happens with Ryan Day and OSU going forward. But yeah, I think that was something big we had to just kind of mention, just in terms of the season that they had, where they go from now. So yeah, we'll definitely see what happens going forward with Ryan Day, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, moving on from Ryan Day, Chris, we'll delve just a little deeper into Coach Freeman. So after defeating Penn State to make it to the national championship. I think within that own right, it was a historic moment for him. He became the first black head coach, sitting head coach, to make it to a national championship. He did not win it. Um, that's historic. That's a very historic
Mhm.
moment, Chris. Um, what what were your thoughts about kind of him, shying away a little bit from it, in terms of making that achievement, the would be achievement in winning the national championship? Do you think it was a moment that he should have just took along with his team and say like, look, it's a historic moment, along with taking this team to a national championship. Let's let the good times roll. What are your thoughts about just his comments, of course, after
Yeah,
winning the Orange Bowl?
I most definitely wish he would have embraced it some more. There's a storied history of how things have been playing out, of course, in our country, but also when it comes to black people in college football. For a long
Mm-hmm.
time, we weren't playing in college football, and then things changed, and people saw, oh, there was teams when the teams that had black players started doing some more winning. So then everybody else ones had black players, but also, well, when you look at the coaching landscape, um, there's a lot of that is limited when it comes to the amount of black head coaches leading programs, and then not only do you have a black head coach, you have a black head coach at Notre Dame, a storied program, with a lot of history,
Mm-hmm.
and then to be the coach that makes it to a black head coach that makes it to a national championship game. I know you want to downplay it, and maybe that's been your MO your whole life, but I think you have to own up to that, embrace it, and accept it. This is history. As much as you want to downplay who your part in history, it doesn't negate the fact that it is history. So I would have loved for him to embrace it, sit in it, be proud about it, and not necessarily try to brush it off, because you can't brush off being black. You are black. That
Mm-hmm.
is part of who you are. So as much as you might want to act like everything is everything, no, this is a moment. So I really would have liked for him to embrace it more.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, it's just historic for him, for us to see him at that moment in a national championship. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't win it, but yeah, it would have been definitely beneficial, for young black kids, or even other minorities, coming up that enjoy the game known as football and college football, and saying like, hey, you can do this too, and you can be
Mm-hmm.
recognized for it. So it would have been inspiring for the youth and the guys out there that fought hard on that football field. you know Going to the NFL is hard enough as it is, but it is a great moment to show that, hey, you can do anything, as long as you put your mind to it. And it would have been a great moment had he had mentioned that. But it is what it is now. So yeah, I think going forward, I hope, I pray that this isn't just an anomaly, that we get to see more black head football coaches get these opportunities, Chris. Like we got guys like Charles Huff, that's at Southern Miss now. Dion. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and we see what Dion has done for the game of college football. I think he's made it much more successful, popular than it's ever been. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and these are black head coaches leading the way on this. So, making history. So, it was just a moment. I think, for us to definitely talk about that. This is history in the making, and don't allow history to be lost
Mm,
with the things that we love. So
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
it's definitely it was definitely an important time and opportunity for him to say that, had he did mention that. So I definitely 1,000% agree with what you're saying, Chris. And all I can say is hopefully that this can be a lesson going forward. That if you are a black head football coach, or not even a football coach, basketball coach, baseball coach, whatever, especially in collegiate athletics, that you can get that opportunity to talk about that and enlighten those opportunities so that the next person can take that with them and carry that on and showcase
mm-hmm.
people that they can make it too. So yeah, man, I hope I I put that in great words.
Oh, you did. Yes, sir. For sure, my brother.
So yes, sir, yes, sir. But yeah, man, yeah, it was a great year.
Mm-hmm.
All together, Chris. I enjoyed
Man,
this
it's still
season.
crazy that the season's over. I mean, wow.
It's crazy.
It's not even this other day we were previewing everything and giving unveiling our top 25 and just like that. The
Yeah, I know.
season's over and it's 2025. Now we get ready for spring ball.
Yeah, exactly. Spring ball will be here before you know it, and yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that as well, Chris, on the show. So yeah, man, a lot of things are coming into the horizon. I guess before we do get out of here, why not the let's do the final chief of the week, Chris, before we head out of here for the 2024 football season. National championship,
Mhm.
Chris. Who is your chief of the week in the national championship game?
Yeah. It's only right that we do unveil our chief of the week. I mean, the Natty was an interesting game. Like we said, things played out in an interesting way. For me, I think I'm gonna give my chief of the week to Will Howard. I'm gonna give it to Will Howard. Will is it's been an interesting season for Will Howard, Kory.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just a whole lot going on when it comes to like people just really talking crazy about Will Howard. Honestly, um, you know, he's the transfer QB coming from Kansas State, and a lot of people just trying to figure out, this guy has all this talent around him, but isn't playing up to the standard that we anticipated. You aren't going out here putting up video game numbers, and the team isn't out here firing on all cylinders. But Will Howard closed out the season. He did have a really efficient game. Was in control of this offense. Kory, 17 for 21, 231 yards, two touchdowns, no interceptions. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a prolific stat line, but for somebody who went through the adversity that he's gone under this season with people questioning his ability to lead this offense, to only have four incompletions, you didn't put the ball in harm's way, no interceptions, um, and made plays, two touchdown passes. I was very impressed with how he ran this offense, and I want to give him his flowers for keeping his head staying locked in and pushing through this year and helping the Buckeyes get the chip.
Absolutely. I think he played a great game. Like I said, just like with Notre Dame, but also with Ohio State in terms of Will Howard. Um, Will's just a great leader. He showcased that definitely in the final two games of the season for Ohio State. He's just a resilient leader, cool guy, uh, all together, and you can tell that he did mean a lot to that team this season to get them to that point. So yeah, I gotta give props to Will Howard for sure, and he did a phenomenal job by being a great leader for this Ohio State football team. So yeah, my hats off to him as well. For me, I do co-sign on Will Howard being the chief of the week. I will also give a chief of the week sticker, Chris, to none other than Quinshawn Judkins. I gotta get on my petty side. I gotta get on my petty side right quick. Look, this guy was a freak of nature at Ole Miss. And we saw what he did at Ole Miss, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the best running backs I've seen in the state of Mississippi in college football. Probably last several years now. Probably a good decade.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think. Probably in the last 15 years.
Yeah.
We've seen some good backs, but I mean, Quinshawn came out of nowhere.
He did.
Literally, small town in Alabama. Wasn't even on Alabama or Auburn's radar for real. And Lane went out and found him, and nothing was the same. The rest is history.
Exactly. So I won't shy over the fact that the man had 11 carries for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns in this game. Like he was balling. So
yeah.
I gotta give him the chief of the week as well, along with Will Howard.
No. Oh, it's a great selection too. Great selection. I mean, Quinshawn had an incredible season. Had a great season. Him and Travion both had great seasons. Great numbers, great stats, and Quinshawn, I anticipate will continue to say his name as I am looking to see where he ends up in the NFL draft, so I can maneuver him onto all of my fantasy football rosters next season.
You're just gonna be like Devon A-Chain right here, Quinshawn Judkins right here, Jameer Gibbs right here. I think I got a great fantasy
team. Yeah, man. With all the running backs going in the NFL this year, you might mess around and have a team where you might could just take all rookies and be just fine because this is a crazy running back crop going to the league.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. This is going to be a really good running back class. I think a pretty good wide receiver group as well. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the NFL draft. But, yeah, we'll be definitely covering that during the off season, spring, like you had mentioned earlier, Chris. And then, of course, we got the NIL ruling with the revenue splits and all of that. So, and then before you know it, Chris, we'll be full steam ahead. Media days will be here before you know it. We'll be doing this all over again, my friend.
You know it.
Yes, sir. So I can't wait, man. Can't wait, folks. A great season overall. Just amazing games that we saw. And yeah, can't wait to do it all over again. But
let's do. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it too, man. It's going to be another fun and crazy 2025 season on the horizon. The portal has been insane, and I think after the spring settles, we'll get some more people popping in the portal once they get an idea of how these depth charts are working out. So It's still a lot more fun to come.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what makes it all more fun. So that's what's definitely going to definitely pique our interest as we enter next season. So yeah, man. Well, Chris, great episode as always, good sir. Before we get out of here, got some outros. Let the good people know where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, y'all can find me on X at Chris_Bolton_12. And you can find me on Instagram at Chris.Bolton_. Holla at your boy. Talking some of everything. I mean, the NBA's in full swing. Baseball's on the horizon. The Dodgers just keep signing every player that they can and deferring the money and making the rest of the Major League Baseball teams upset. NFL's in full swing. We got the conference championship games coming up. We'll see how that plays out.
Bills and Chiefs.
I think that black magic that the Chiefs got has to come to an end at some point. I'm going with the Bills.
Okay.
Bills got to get their lick back. They had them a couple years ago when they were up with 13 seconds left. You can't let this one pass you by.
You can't, but it's Patrick Mahomes. And he is a wizard.
The wizard is the right word because I don't know how the Chiefs do it. So, if you're Buffalo, you better not let it be close. Don't give the refs a chance. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll definitely see what happens with that. Eagles, Washington. Jaden Daniels is playing like he's been playing for 10 years.
Man, the way Jaden Daniels playing and the way Jalen Hurts is playing, it makes you feel like Washington might do it. Jalen Hurts ain't been hot. You know what I'm saying? He ain't been striking fear in your heart like Jaden Daniels does when he steps on the field.
No, he hasn't. So yeah, it's there for the taking.
Saquon does, but Hurts doesn't.
Yeah, look. If the Eagles go all the way and win a Super Bowl, I'm just gonna look right at Saquon Barkley. I'm like, look, man, you just had a great season, man. You should have broke the record,
And you could have had more touchdowns if your quarterback wasn't Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
taking all the touchdowns.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy, but yeah, man, it should be definitely a great week in the NFL indeed. So, but yeah, folks, definitely follow Chris on social media. He's always there to chat with you good folks about any particular sports that you are interested in. So we appreciate that, sir. And as for me, if you want to find me on social media, you can find me on X at Listen to KSW, all one handle. I'm on there talking college football news. College basketball, of course, is going on. It's starting to heat up. We're in conference play now, Chris. So, yeah, we'll definitely see what happens with that. And professional wrestling, whole nine. So, yeah, definitely follow me on there. Got the Royal Rumble coming up, Chris.
Oh boy, it's gonna be lit.
Yeah,
it's gonna be lit. February 1st.
It's gonna be nice. It is going to be nice.
Yes, I'm ready.
Oh yeah, hey, me as well. We'll definitely I'll definitely be watching it with my cousin, and some of his friends, of course, just kind of chatting about this great Royal Rumble that we're going to be partaking in. So yeah,
yes, sir.
Should be fun. But other than that, folks, we always appreciate you guys listening to the show. As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the show on any of the streaming platforms that we're on. It's definitely important for us. It definitely helps us know what we're doing and how we can improve the show for the future for you all. So, as always, guys, we appreciate the support. And until next time, I'm Kory Willis. He's Chris Bolton. You are listening to the Breakdown Sportscast. We will chat with y'all later on, guys. Peace.
Peace.